This post introduces the KRAC process to the Aviation Medical Review Board, segueing through the applicant's background as a flight safety officer in TC Aviation Enforcement. I'm making the point that aviation is kind of an elite club and rather hard to get into for all aspects except healthcare. So through STARS and the fixed wing medevac program, we can introduce the King Air 200 with a medevac kitted interior, and the applicant's airline transport rating showing here the King Air 200 endorsement, as well as SimEvac for the Bell 412 or Griffin, kitted out for flight sim as a procedures trainer. So it's worth noting aviation regulation works on privileges and prohibitions, and that would occur for the air crews and physicians themselves as well. For example, no person shall operate an aircraft in flight unless these particular issues are made for that section of the cars. And 404.16 also says no physician shall conduct a medical exam unless they're a CAMI, or for the Canadian Armed Forces if they're a flight surgeon. So that raises the status of Dr. Bland's letter in this unfit assessment, saying less than 1% are assessed as unfit, not made lightly. And CHA's forensic psychiatrists don't really have the ability to make that call one way or the other. So there's some room for flexibility on this minister's assessment. As it says, it shall be done in accordance with these standards by the CAMI, and reconsideration allows you to send in fresh medicals prior to TACTI. And that got stalled, of course, with retired witnesses and such, so it mentions if it doesn't go in your favor, there's a 3-member review, which would be the same physicians anyway, so we stopped the show at 1. D&D's flight comment magazines have the flight safety chain to draw in aerospace medical capability in support of aviation safety, so the responsibilities of the medical examiner are set out in the personnel licensing standards. And we can see from Curtis Wood's part of the transcript, stopping meds was against medical advice. RAR has no specialty in psychiatry, and claimed they had no alternative, but there obviously were, so with this reassessment. And that takes us through the Air Cadet Glider Program Manual for the advice that's published by the Directorate of Flight Safety, as well as the Air Cadets Glider Program Manual, and that basically says it's the responsibility of the air crew to ensure they get appropriate advice. So the psychiatry has authority to conduct medical exams. Conflict of interest violations in aviation medicine is really the point of the show. So we have some materials for Bennett Jones on what aerospace medicine actually is, and how you go about becoming an accredited medical provider through this process. And the role of the RAMO is to select and train the CAMIs. Licensing is a responsibility of aviation licensing, and CAMIs are given a handbook, a numbered stamp, and a wall certificate, and that would be our doctor's tolerator. And they'd have the ability to do this medical exam with a pad of these Form 2610s and a stamp for the LVC, culminating in his CAMI wings as seen here. So again, through flight comment and the STARS segue with partnership, innovation, and leadership, the applicants prepared flight surgeon simulators with some stuff from Computer Pilot, and in this case Bell 412 Griffin, which was the 408 Squadron issue all the way up to Wendy White's intervention. So we have an object model. We're expanding out through the civil industry as well, drawing in WestJet as a nominal civilian provider. And they'd have a company-approved operations manual, as well as the air cadets, and that's where they would fly their medical services. So the passengers are provided input to the show through this rear seat entertainment system, as shown here with a browser and soft buttons mapped in for the Strike Hornet object model.